Hey everybody, this is Dr. Joe Borio, this week's Health Kick. And right now it's about quarter to 7 o'clock in the morning here in my office. I just got out of the gym and I get up at about 3:45 in the morning. I drive to a gym in East Syracuse, New York, for those of you that aren't locals that tune into our Health Kick every week. And I work out for about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes and drive to the office. Why do I tell you that? Certainly not to impress you, but to impress upon you that today's topic is exercise. I exercise 6 days a week. So Monday through Saturday, I do exercise often on a Sunday. We'll do a light routine, often including yoga and so forth. But I've been doing that regularly for a number of years now. And the reason I want to share that with you is how important it is to exercise. The definition of exercise actually is oxygenation of the body. And the best way to think about it, I know sometimes it is the worst thing to do for some people. I don't think there's anybody out there that is a better expert at me lying in bed at 3:45 in the morning coming up with about 30 different reasons as to why I don't want to get out of bed and go to the gym. I mean, I can come down to the axial rotation of the planet, maybe it's off a little bit. I mean, you know, barometric pressure, the weather, I don't feel good, anything, right? So we've all come up with those different excuses. But the reality is, it stinks. It kind of stinks to get up in the morning, that first moment, to exercise. It's certainly not something that's the easiest thing for most people. It certainly isn't easy for me. But I can tell you the rewards are phenomenal. Exercising actually gives you so much more energy, and it's probably a tough concept to think about. But if we go back to that definition, that exercise is actually oxygenation of the body, think about this. You're starting a fire, and the fire's not really taken off as well as it's supposed to, right? So you're looking at that fire and you see kind of some burning ember on the bottom. What do? Most people, they lean forward and you blow oxygen is what you're doing. You're concentrating the amount of oxygen onto an area of the fire. What happens? Boy, the thing really starts to heat up, right? You're actually energizing, if you will. You're adding energy to that combustion to allow the combustion to take off, creating more energy is what you're doing. So that's, in a sense, it's an example, but in a sense, that's what happens inside your body. When you're exercising, what are you doing? You know, you're like, oh, God, I don't want to do this. And as you get going, boom, 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 heart starts beating. You start breathing in and out, and what happens is you start oxygenating the body. And it's even much more beautiful than that. What also happens is blood starts to circulate throughout your body, which brings oxygen to all these different body parts and all these different cells and all these different organs of your body. So oxygen starts to circulate in your lungs and your liver and your kidney and your pancreas and your spleen and your duodenum and the small intestine and all the muscles and your brain, and it starts to add energy and activity, and it starts to take away all the byproducts, all the waste materials in your body start to get flushed out, and that increases circulation through the kidney, and your kidney starts to filter things out faster, so it cleanses the body and oxygenates the body, and it allows you to feel better and function better. It allows your brain to work better. So oxygen, certainly oxygen, but exercise is vital for us in our normal functioning. Here's what also is very interesting. When you read the studies on the human body is meant to move. We're not designed to sit in front of a computer all day on a telephone. So the reality is, by sitting down in front of a computer and, you know, sitting like this at a computer with a phone on her ear, it actually de-energizes the body. And it also gets us stuck in these positions, right? So you're starting to sit like this, and it gets you stuck in those positions. You start to round your shoulders. You start to collapse your thorax or lung field. So now you're not breathing properly. As a result, you're taking away oxygen to the body just by your posture. Then you're taking away oxygen from the body by the fact that you're not moving. And as a result, the body tends to become much sicker in those cases. So what do we tend to see as we're less active? Think about this. As we're less active, especially us in the New England area, right? We become what? What happens to our body when we become less active? Think about what everyone starts to suffer from in the winter, right? Colds, flus, right? We start getting stuck inside. We stop exercising. Our immune system starts to decrease, because the immune system actually is activated by movement of the body, movement of the spine, movement of the circulatory system, movement of the lymphatics. All that has to happen Through exercise. So that starts to wane, right? And now we're sitting in computers, we're less active, we're sitting in front of a TV, we're on a couch, so we're doing a lot less activity, which in turn what? Causes our body to do less, therefore our immune system gets weaker, then what happens? We're more prone to colds and flus and infections because our body's not functioning nearly at the optimum that it should. So what can involve exercise? What's real simple? You know, you don't have to join a gym, you don't have to do Joe Borio's program where you're getting up in the morning and doing a boot camp, if you will, every morning. I'll tell you, 15 to 20 minutes really is all you need to do every day. One of the best programs on TV, way ahead of his time, in fact, I got his picture, was this guy right here, and I talk about him a lot. This is Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne had a TV program, it was on for about a half hour, and he would be up on his program, usually with his dog, and he'd talk about, you know, exercise, and you'd watch him move around and jump around off a chair, off of a floor. He would use soup cans and he would use simple things around the house to show people at home that they could exercise and really live a good functioning life. Jack LaLanne is 93 years old. And Jack LaLanne is somebody that exercises about an hour plus every single day. He's also a chiropractor, and he also goes to a chiropractor regularly. So Jack LaLanne taught us a lifestyle back in the 1960s that continues on today. And obviously what he taught us was a way to live our life in a way that would bring us greater joy, greater quantity, greater quality out of our life. One very important spoke, if you will, of that wheel has to be exercise. So you have to move around. So go for a walk every day, 15 or 20 minutes. If you have a home with stairs to the basement or upstairs, walk up and down the stairs for 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, I know that sometimes it sounds simple, but you know, yeah, you can go to a gym, yeah, you can buy an expensive piece of equipment. Often they become clothing racks, right? Because you start putting stuff on them and you stop working out. So we're coming into a time at the end of the year where a lot of people start to make these resolutions. Hey, I want to make some new goals for myself. I want to start taking better care of myself. One important aspect, one great change to make in your life would be adding that exercise. Now, certainly joining a gym is phenomenal. They have the best programs they're ever going to run throughout the year is right in January, because gyms usually make their money, and not to say they're cynical, but they make money in January, usually 2 to 3 months after. 80% of the people that join in January, 80% aren't active members in the gym. I mean, how pathetic is that? So one of the challenges I find with most people is that they actually sign up for a gym and they sign up on an exercise program that involves so much time and energy that it's nothing that they could ever sustain in their normal day-to-day. So what's really important is when you start an exercise program, start it using an allotment of time that you can see yourself doing all the time. What I mean by that is if you say to yourself, hey, look, I can do, let's say you're going to join a gym. I can see it's going to take me 15 minutes to get to the gym. I got to change, so it's 20 minutes out of my day right there. Then I'm going to work out for a half hour, 45 minutes, right, or whatever. And then I got 20 minutes to go back home or go back to the gym or back to the house or back to work or whatever. So, you know, you're talking an hour plus hour and a half in order to do that. Do you have that allotment of time? If you don't, then you'll never sustain that workout, because after a while that time becomes a lot of effort in order to sustain. So if you find, hey, look, I've got an hour every day between the time to travel, to work out and come back, I've got an hour. So your workout's probably going to be 30 minutes. So you should only be doing a 30-minute workout. And you know, you don't have to do aerobics every day. You can do a kind of a routine with the weights or the machines for 30 minutes on Monday, then you do nothing but aerobics on Tuesday, then nothing but a weight routine or a routine on the machines on Wednesday, and so forth. It's a great way to do your routine, and then you're in there 5 or 6 days a week. Works phenomenal. I will tell you another important aspect here as I'm coming out of time. It's great to join gyms because one of the great aspects of humans that we need, I shouldn't say aspects, one of the needs of being a human is the companionship or the experience of community. Working through other people or with other people. So that's one of the great things about a gym is you get to meet people, you get to make friends, you have conversation, you start to enjoy the engagement, if you will, of health and fitness and wellness. We'll also find that the people that are the most successful, both in business, in communities, they know 6 other people in that community. It's an important aspect to understand. So the more people you get to know in a gym setting, the more likely you are to stay in the gym and work out, because there's something that happens. You develop your own little community, which makes you, if you will, a little bit more accountable or a little bit more engaged, a little bit more attached to that community makes you much more prone to stay working out.